Hi, welcome back to Smoking Cheltenham. Hope you're well. Might notice we've got a different background today. Yeah, wife's decorating. It looked mint, like, nothing wrong with how it looked, but, you know, she likes to redecorate every now and then. If it were up to me, it'd probably be the same kind of thing for the next 20 years or so. But to be fair, if it were up to me, it wouldn't have looked so mint in the first place, would it? So, fair enough. Keeps her happy. She likes it. So, yeah, it's all changing. Got some good races this weekend from Cheltenham. Cheltenham's back. It's nice. We've got Aintree on Sunday, Old Rowan Chase. Some interesting racing from Galway. Yeah, I ain't got anything for tomorrow. No bet for tomorrow. There's a couple of races on Saturday. I might give a quick mention to. I've got nothing solid as yet. Um, we'll sit on this 100% strike rate we've got. One out of one, yeah. One thing I can promise you is that won't be 100% at the end of the season. There, I can promise you, I'll tell you more losers than winners. But yeah, nice to have Cheltenham back. I know it's like Chepstow. Woo, start of the flat. Cheltenham. This meeting, to be fair, I like this meeting. Been down there a few times for it. It's a lovely meeting. But for me, the one that gets me excited is next weekend down Royal. For me, that's the real start. Like, yeah, Gordon loves that meeting. He sends, see some Cheltenham horses there for sure. So really, this video is mainly we've had the stable tours this week. We'll see how that's impacted us ramblers. To be fair, mostly good for a change. No nasty shocks there. And I've got a 25 to 1 selection for Cheltenham. Yeah. This has me excited. I've been told once or twice I'm quite laid back, but can you believe it? Right then, so a bit of news. Supreme Favourite Dream to Share seems a little bit more serious than we first thought. It's going to be sort of Christmas, New Year time before we get to see him again. So as ramblers, we were against him anyway. That's only going to make things harder. Yeah, we couldn't be going anywhere near him at 5 to 1. I thought he'd be pushed out a little more, but there you go. Champ Keeley, he's met with a setback. He's not going to be out till Christmas, New Year time, and he'll be staying over hurdles. One big genius. Yeah. Us ramblers, we won this at 20s. Tom Seagal put him up. I think it was 16s. He's now 8 to 1 favourite. So we certainly beat the price there. So if you weren't on him yet, I wouldn't be in a rush to back him at 8s. I'd wait until he's a more definite runner. Like I mentioned, I think if there's no soft in the going description, he won't be winning. You know, but we've got quite a lot of wet stuff about, haven't we? So, hopefully John Joe's noticed the weather and he's getting him ready. You'd like to see him come out first of a spin, maybe ran. There's that hurdle race at Wetherby. Be a nice prep, something like that. If he goes straight there, that's a bit of an ask. Yeah, be thinking he's got more Welsh national on his mind. Well, we'll see. We certainly beat the price anyway. We only had a bit on him, didn't we? So that's good. Right then, yeah, there's sort of, we'll just really a lot to digest from the stable tours. We'll just cover really the Willie Mullins and how that's affected us ramblers. Ash Road Diamond was possibly going chasing and then he's not going chasing, so Ash Road Diamond's going for the Mare's Hurdle. Lossiemouth. Now, we kind of beat the price on this. We're on at 7-2. I think 3s is the best now. But I would not be backing this at 3s at the moment. There's no rush. If you've not backed this horse, I'd stay well clear for now. I think he mentioned he might not bring her out certainly till Christmas time, but even I think he's thinking of going just the DRF and then on to Cheltenham. So you don't want to be backing an horse at 3-1 that you're not going to see for a few months yet, because obviously anything can go wrong in the meantime. He's got Ash Road Diamond and Garlem's Sale there. If they come out this season and look really impressive, he did mention there's a possibility the Champion Hurdle for Lossiemouth. He might be more inclined to go there. He did favour the Mare's Hurdle, to be fair. But look, if you ask me the most likely winner now, the Mare's Hurdle, I would be saying Lossiemouth without question. But just there's no need. I mean, a lot of Ante-Post betting is about timing, and I think it would be terrible timing to be backing this horse at 3-1 now. Yeah. Just while we're on Lossiemouth, obviously I thought, you wonder about a stamina there maybe. I wouldn't worry too much about it myself. It's only 3 furlongs further than last year and it's on the easier track. And the way she ran in the Triumph, she was far too keen. She tanked to the front with Paul, just sort of pulled him to the front almost at the top of the hill. Tanked down the hill. Paul's trying to hold on to her there, save a bit. I mean, she comes to the last. There's a few challengers there coming up behind her, closing her down. She pings the last. And then he just asked her and she went like 2 or 3 lengths clear. Maintained that all the way to the line. At that moment, when he asked her, she had no right to quicken away again the way she'd raced. She should have just fell in a hole there. I think that marks her down as a bit special. I'd be putting her in the sort of vroom vroom Benny Jadu class. She'd have a way to be up to an Annie Power. She got that to prove yet, but I'd certainly be putting her in the class of them other 2 mares there. And I think the Mare's Hurdle, she will just kill them for speed. The only thing I would say is she'd have to settle better than last year. You won't want to see her that revved up and keen again. But yeah, a year older, She's got that experience under her belt. You'd like to think she'd be a bit more settled. And if she does settle, yeah, I think she'll just kill him for speed, because there's nothing else in that race. You can't imagine running in a champion hurdle and not getting lapped, you know. But yeah, not a bet at the moment. Vassal Vega. Yeah. Mentions the Arkle. He does say he's got the option there to step up in the trip, but at least he's going to have the chance to prove himself an Arkle horse, and that's all we can ask for. He said it'll be out soon, mid-November, so we're looking at maybe 3 weeks or so. So that's exciting. I imagine he'll come out in the beginners, probably at 2 mile, but possibly 2.5. You'd prefer to see him at 2 mile, but he said he weren't too fussed about the trip first time up, and then I'd imagine he'll be going on to Leopardstown at Christmas. And he could well be in a collision course there with Marine Nationale. And I imagine that race will go some way to defining his season. So that's exciting. See, another horse we liked, Mr. Policeman. Both these are in a sort of 10 to follow. He kind of could be the fly in the ointment for us, but I think we're not having so much experience. He'll step Mr. Policeman up maybe a little slower. So I think he'd probably be getting his shot at the big time at the DRF. But if Vassal Vega's already blown everything out of the water by that point, then maybe he might think about stepping him up for the Turners. So, all conjecture at this point. But yeah, at least he's well, and he's going to be out in a few weeks, so that's exciting. Mirazor West. We might be on the right one here. He says he was one to follow. Sounded very positive on Mirazor West. So positive, I actually just topped up a little on him. Not gone mad or anything, but yeah, I did have like my kind of minimum Ante-Post bet on him. I just topped up a little on him. Ballyburn, I think we're on the right race for him too, by the sounds of it. The Ballymore did mention he's got to settle more in his races, or he could end up being a supreme type, but you certainly get the impression Willie wants to go Ballymore with this guy. And we've seen it before, you need the 2 mile speed in the Ballymore. I think, you know, if he can just settle a little bit for a hurdle, his speed will be some weapon in a Ballymore. Early days, I know, but yeah. All good up to now. Tullio. I'll never really think about the Albert Bartlett till sort of after Christmas time. I'll start having a look. But if I had to pick one now, Tullio would be at the top of my list. He's a point-to-point winner, which is a positive for that race. And yeah, he did mention sort of Ballymore, Albert Bartlett. Yeah. I did have a look at the price. I thought, do you know, if he's sort of 25s or something, I might have a small bit on him. I think he's more like 16s, so yeah, I'll just let that go for now. But yeah, he'd be at the top of my list at the moment for that race. Alright, appreciate it. I said this was put him in my 10 to follow as a bit of a wild one, if you remember, for the Thyestes. It doesn't seem like Willie's thinking along the same lines here with this horse. He's saying sort of 2.5 mile Ryanair. Yeah, and maybe he's right as well. But I wonder if he's thought about the Thyestes. One horse he has thought about the Thyestes for is Sir Gerhard. The Thyestes off top weight. I say he just he does surprise me sometimes. Yeah, this horse has never looked like a 3 miler to me. I don't know. He seems to be placing a lot on the breeding sort of side of this horse, but from what I've seen with my eyes, I've never sort of looked at this horse and think he's wanting a 3 mile. To be fair though, he did also mention the Ryanair and the Gold Cup and the Stayers Hurdle. So I reckon if we throw the Champion Hurdle and the National in there, we've got the full fucking range, haven't we? We've got the full spectrum there. To be fair to him, he says it is hard to keep sound over fences. And I think plan A would be a Ryanair. Obviously he's got Allaho there, and Allaho's back. If Allaho is that Allaho we knew a couple of years ago, it's going to be nice to see anyway. Like I said, I couldn't be backing Allaho for this at single figures. Equally though, if someone wanted to back him at sort of 6s or 7s there, I won't be shaking my head, because like I say, for every Sprinter Sacre there's 100 that don't, but the ones that do tend to be you like Sprinter Sacres, your Denmans, Moscow Flyers, Faheen nearly as an 11-year-old, they're them top class horses, like, you've got top class and then you've got these guys, haven't you? And Allaho sits comfortably in that company. So yeah, it's just going to be great to see him back, to be honest. I couldn't be backing him myself at this stage, but yeah, I look forward to seeing him back on track. So yeah, obviously if Allaho, then Sir Gerard under the same ownership, maybe. To be honest, if he can keep him sound over fences, which he's hoping to be able to do, if he can, then I think he'll just naturally fall into the Ryanair, because he may go up in trip with him, and I'd be fairly sure he won't stay again. So I think he'd just naturally fall into the Ryanair, and say 50 to 1, we had a bit of change on him. So it's nothing. He did, yeah. The Stayers. If he don't keep him sound, like I say, I can't see this horse myself over 3, but he'd be different class to that lot in the Stayers division. So if he were to come back over hurdles and prove his stamina over 3 mile, I would be all over him for the Stayers. But I think that unlikely myself. So yeah, mostly good. We're pretty happy with all that. That little top up I had on Resort West was 12s. We won at like 16s before. So we're moving markets now. To be fair, I think that probably happened with the news of Dream to Share. They seemed to shut and Merseyside West on the back of that. Not much else, but yeah. Right then, we've got another one to add to our squad. Mares Chase, Halka to Tabet. Around these parts it'd be Halka de Tabet. But yeah, Halka de Tabet. Kenny Alexander owned, Gordon Elliott trained, 6-year-old, point-to-point winner. Get to that in a bit. $25-1. Now, this is an horse I took a liking to last year. I like this horse. She made a racecourse debut for Gordon in November. She won a bumper, won a maiden hurdle, both at Naas. Both times she was strong after the last stage, strong to the line. She's a strong stayer. Then she upped in class to Grade 3 Solarina. She came third that day, beaten 2.5 lengths by Ashrow Diamond. She led there at a slow pace. I think jumping the last, there was maybe 3 or 4 lengths, literally 4 lengths covering the entire field. That really didn't suit her. You could see that from, she's a strong stayer, this horse. That test of speed, Ashrow just did her for toe. Then she went on to Cheltenham, ran in the mares, novice hurdle. So even though it was a bit shorter distance, much more of a stamina test that day, she turned form round with Jatara, around about 12 lengths there from the Solarina. Now, yeah, she came third, beaten 3 lengths. Now, I know a lot, quite rightly as well, has been made of Magical Zoe's ride in that race. This mare, I'm sad to say, also got a shocker. On the run to the last, while everything else was busy, he's just sat there on this horse, still, and considering what a strong stayer she is, I just don't know why. Didn't really ask her till the approach to the last. She had to kind of jump round a horse there. Magical Zoe came round her and beat her, but at the line, Halka was closing Zoe back down, and another 4 strides or so should have repassed Magical Zoe there. Yeah, she got a bad ride. She did. I'm sad to say, but she did. She's all stamina, this horse, but she's not slow. She's got a nice cruising speed there. The extra half mile of the Mares Chase will be right up her street. Will bring a lot of improvement. Now, I did mention she was a point-to-point winner, and yeah, she won that well. It's worth a watch. Jumped well. She won that by 45 lengths, 3 mile point-to-point. Yeah, jumped well. 5 out, she looked, to my eye, to get in pretty deep but she just danced over the fence. So she's not a particularly big, imposing type, but I think she's got quick feet. 3 out, she was 3 or 4 length in front. By 2 out, she was like 20, 25 length in front, and at the line, she wouldn't be a fence. I mean, to be fair, the second horse is now rated 107, but yeah, she did beat it by a fence. I'm not particularly technically gifted, but I'll see if I can put the link on in the comments to that point to point. I'll see if I can do that, and you can have a look yourself. Now, there's been 3 run-ins of this mare's chase. Being won by Colreevy, Ellie May and Impervious. 2 8-year-olds and a 7-year-old. Now, Colreevy and Impervious were novices, and they both got beat the year before in the mare's novice hurdle. So that's kind of, I wouldn't be putting her up for that reason, but still, it's kind of like a cherry on top, in it, does no harm, that. It's quite interesting. Now, say of them 3, 2 of those were Willie's, and he trained the second last year, Allegory de Vassi. So obviously Willie's going to be a big player in this again. And I think that horse is the one probably to beat Allegory de Vassi. I thought last year, she's a 6-year-old, I thought she was quite big and raw. And at the end of the day, she was only beaten 2.5 lengths by Impervious, who, even though Colreevy went on and won a Grade 1 at Punchestown, kind of fell apart a bit, I'd say. I think out of those 3 winners, Impervious would be maybe the best. She's the only one I could like. I'd have been liking her for like a Ryanair or something. She could even be in a Gold Cup type. Obviously, she's still there in the betting, Impervious. But at best, she's going to have a bad prep for this. And we don't really like horses at Cheltenham going there after a bad prep. So yeah, I'd say Allegory. I mean, she got beat twice after that. She went to Fairy House and Punchestown. I was surprised after getting beat at Fairy House she came out again. Yeah, I'd say a summer out at grass has probably done her the world of good. I'd imagine she's kind of strengthened up into that frame a bit now. As long as those races haven't left a mark. I'd say she's the one to beat. Sort of 6s is more than fair as well. We're toying with backing both, but yeah, I'd have a lot of respect for her. I think she's the one to beat. Obviously, Halka's 25's there. I'd say you want. I mean, last year I think Allegory, she got beat by a high class, more professional mare. Colreevy, Ellie May, Impervious. This race tends to be won and lost after the last. I think you need a tough mare for this race. And I think Alca de Tabet is a tough mare. She's got that toughness about her. She'll be 7 next year. She will not be flinching on that tough climb from the last. She'll run all the way to the line there. And yeah, I like her. I do. I think she's a great bet. I think at 25s. So that's that one. And then, yeah, just the weekend's racing. There's one race. I mean, we've got all this going on. I haven't really looked at Sunday's cards yet. I might do a quick video Saturday if there's something I really like Saturday or Sunday. So I'm not too fussed with tomorrow. Galway on Saturday, Paul Fields. He gave that a good mention, Gordon. He's out again quick enough, but would definitely be the one to beat in that race. There's also an interesting horse in that race called Bow Walking. Now this horse I think opened up 66ers for a bumper at Punchestown. Got backed into I think near single figures and then was an on-runner for Jesse. So I'd keep a little eye on that. It could be worth a little each way bet or maybe play a forecast or something. Yeah. 342 race Spillane's Towers, an interesting horse, but I don't imagine he might be quite short. But yeah. That's it then. So thanks for your time. I do appreciate it, I really do. If you do like these videos, if you do, by any chance, if you'd subscribe, that'd be great. Don't worry about it if not. And yeah, enjoy the racing this weekend. And like I say, I might see you Saturday. If not Saturday, it'll be again next week. Okay? Alright. Thanks a lot. See ya.